But I think it only took a matter of months and this child was no seizures at all. And years later, still no seizures. Now, they told the parents that he would eventually have mental retardation because of the amount of fits that he was having. And he got to the point where he's the top of his class in school. Wow, just incredible story. And that's why the chapter in the book is called The Ketone Miracle.
In this video, you'll discover a hidden danger in the oils you use every day that could be silently harming your health, along with a surprising secret about how the right fats can change your life. Stay with us because every moment unlocks a longer, vibrant life.
There was a movie made, I think, in the 90s called First Do No Harm. It has Meryl Streep in it, and it's a true story about a mother whose child got epilepsy. They were, of course, rushed him to hospital, tried different medications. Some medications sent this child like a mad boy, jumping off buildings, all sorts of things. So they changed his medication. Now he just turned into a zombie. And they were beginning to talk about cutting the top of his head off to do some tests on it. So the mother was terrified, as you can imagine. The child was only about 7, so she went to the library and she researched and she researched and she researched, and she found the ketogenic diet. And it was done at Johns Hopkins Hospital. I think it is still done there. And so, to cut a long story short, she got her son there. They immediately fasted this little boy for 2 days. Do you know that was not a worry, because the medication he was on, he just didn't want to eat. They fasted him for 2 days, then they put him on the ketogenic diet.
The movie First Do No Harm is more than just a dramatic retelling of a medical story. The ketogenic diet, as portrayed in the film, has real roots in medical practice. Originally developed in the 1920s, the diet was used to treat children with drug-resistant epilepsy. Its high-fat, low-carbohydrate ratio forces the body to use fat instead of glucose for energy, leading to the production of ketones, which are thought to have a stabilizing effect on brain function. Today, the ketogenic diet is not only used for epilepsy, but is also being studied for other conditions like type 2 diabetes and even certain cancers. However, it's important to approach this diet with caution, as it can have side effects, including nutrient deficiencies and kidney strain, if not properly managed by healthcare professionals. The ketogenic diet's effectiveness in treating epilepsy is supported by studies from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, which show that it can reduce seizures by 50% or more in children who don't respond well to medication. Other research from Mayo Clinic highlights potential risks such as constipation, dehydration, and even long-term cardiovascular concerns. Before considering a ketogenic diet for medical purposes, always consult with a doctor or a dietitian. For children with epilepsy, this diet needs to be carefully monitored to ensure they receive sufficient nutrients while keeping ketone levels effective.
Which was high fat, he was eating bacon and eggs, and some meals were like mince, but a little bit of tomato, a little bit of lettuce. I think in the first week he went from something like 10 seizures a day to about 3 in the week. I can't remember the exact timelines, but you can read it in Stop Autism Now, and you can see it in the movie First Do No Harm. But I think it only took a matter of months and this child was no seizures at all. And years later, still no seizures. Now, they told the parents that he would eventually have mental retardation because of the amount of fits that he was having. And he got to the point where he's the top of his class in school. Wow, just incredible story. And that's why the chapter in the book is called The Ketone Miracle. Just incredible. And Bruce Fife says you can get a far more acceptable dietary program by just dropping your carbs, having the vegetables, the proteins, and supplementing with the coconut oil.
The success of the ketogenic diet in reducing epilepsy seizures can be attributed to its impact on the brain's energy metabolism. When the body enters ketosis, the state of burning fat for fuel, Ketones provide an alternative energy source for the brain, which seems to stabilize electrical activity and reduce seizure frequency. A 2019 study published in The Lancet Neurology found that children on a ketogenic diet not only experienced fewer seizures, but also showed improvements in mood and alertness. Despite its benefits, the ketogenic diet is not suitable for everyone. Some people may find it difficult to maintain long-term due to its restrictive nature. Additionally, potential side effects like high cholesterol, liver problems, and vitamin deficiencies should be regularly monitored by healthcare professionals. Research from Harvard Health Publishing highlights that while the ketogenic diet can be effective for epilepsy, it requires a significant commitment and ongoing medical supervision, particularly for children. Regular blood tests are often necessary to monitor nutrient levels and organ health.
In Stop Alzheimer's now, he has equally amazing stories of people who've been having turnarounds with Alzheimer's, dementia, multiple sclerosis, Huntington's chorea, Parkinson's disease. So I think every home should have that book, because I don't know anyone who wants Alzheimer's. And he shows in this book that you can prevent damage to the brain cells, but you can also, by implementing the coconut oil, begin to have a healing taking place. The other day I told you that every membrane around the cell, every cell has a membrane around it, and that membrane is 50% protein, 50% fat, except for the brain cell, 70% fat. So that gives you a little bit of an idea on why the fat is so important in brain health. 100 years ago and before, human beings got their polyunsaturated fats from the food that they ate. There's only been 2 oils that have been used since time dot, and that is the olive oil and the coconut oil. And both of these oils can be extracted from the flesh of the plant, so they're extracted very easily. Women used to have presses in their kitchen, and they could just extract the olive oil very easily.
Proper storage of olive oil is crucial to preserving its nutritional and flavor qualities. Exposure to light, heat, and air can cause the oil to oxidize and go rancid, which not only ruins the taste but also destroys its healthful properties. Store your olive oil in a cool, dark place, ideally in a tin or a dark glass bottle, to prevent oxidation. In addition to storage, pay attention to labels when purchasing olive oil. Terms like cold-pressed and extra virgin mean that the oil is minimally processed and retains more of its antioxidants and healthy fats. Be wary of blends or oils labeled simply as pure, which may indicate that they are highly processed. According to the National Institutes of Health, NIH, the antioxidants in extra virgin olive oil, such as polyphenols, can reduce inflammation in the body and protect against chronic diseases like heart disease. Proper storage helps to maintain these beneficial properties. To monitor the freshness of your olive oil, use a smart oil dispenser that tracks the amount of air exposure and alerts you when it's time to replace the oil. This ensures you always use fresh, high-quality oil in your cooking.
They found that if they put the olive oil in a glass bowl on the bench, it would get a bitter taste. Now we know it's because the light, heat, and oxygen were attracted into that empty spot, and it would cause the oil to go rancid. And so they quickly learnt that if they put the oil in clay jars with cork tops in the basement and kept it cool, it retained its nice sweet flavour. It didn't go bitter. Both of these oils have been extracted in a very simple methods by women in their kitchens for centuries. And as you see by the molecular structure of these oils, they are the most stable oil. Coconut is the most stable. Olive oil is not as stable. It does have 1 double bond, so you should always buy it in tins or dark jars, because it does deteriorate when exposed to light, heat, and oxygen. But all of these oils, really, I believe we should be getting them from our food. Olive oil and coconut oil have been used for centuries and can be extracted very simply with the cold pressed method.
Coconut oil is high in medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs, which the body can quickly convert into ketones. Ketones, as previously mentioned, are an alternative energy source for the brain, and some studies suggest that they may help protect neurons from damage, especially in neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. A 2018 review in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that MCTs could improve cognitive function in people with mild Alzheimer's disease. However, more research is needed to understand the long-term effects of coconut oil on these conditions. Although promising, coconut oil should be incorporated into the diet carefully, as it is also high in saturated fat, which can raise cholesterol levels and increase the risk of cardiovascular disease if consumed in excess. The American Heart Association, AHA, cautions that while coconut oil may have some health benefits, its high levels of saturated fat should not be ignored. It's important to balance coconut oil intake with other sources of healthy fats, such as omega-3s found in fish and flaxseed. When using coconut oil for its potential brain health benefits, aim for moderation. Limit its use to cooking and occasional supplements, and balance it with unsaturated fats from sources like olive oil, nuts, and seeds.
You can get oils from these seeds now, and in the majority of cases, they're extracted with chemicals and high heat, which always destroys the double bonds. So when you do buy olive oil, very important that you buy first cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil, and you can get some very nice Australian olive oils now. You can't always believe what the label says when you get your oils from Greece and Italy. The standards are a little bit different. But I myself, I like to support local industry too in the Australian oils. Traditionally, olive oil and coconut oil have also been used medicinally. Olive oil has been used internally for upset stomachs, for constipation. There's also a recipe that's been used for centuries to expel gallstones. It's half a cup of olive oil, half a cup of lemon juice, drunk before bed. That amount of oil causes the gallbladder to start releasing huge amounts of bile, and in the process the stones can be also released. I do caution anyone who wants to try it, you're best to use it with someone who knows what they're doing.
Olive oil has been prized for its health benefits for thousands of years, and modern research backs up many of these traditional uses. High in monounsaturated fats and antioxidants, olive oil is a cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet, which has been linked to lower rates of heart disease, stroke, and certain cancers. A 2013 study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that people following a Mediterranean diet rich in olive oil had a 30% lower risk of cardiovascular events. However, not all olive oils are created equal. Cold-pressed, extra virgin olive oil retains more of its antioxidants and beneficial compounds compared to refined oils, which are often processed with heat and chemicals. Harvard Health Publishing recommends extra virgin olive oil for its heart health benefits, but notes that it should be part of a balanced diet. Overconsumption can still lead to excess calorie intake, which could lead to weight gain. For a simple at-home remedy to promote digestion, try using a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil on an empty stomach in the morning to stimulate the digestive system. This method has been used traditionally to relieve constipation and promote liver function. Your presence here is so important, and I'm grateful for every minute you invest in your health. Subscribe to the channel, and if you've made it to the end, comment. I'm committed to my longevity. Let's keep evolving together on this vibrant journey toward better health.